in the University of Phoenix back in 2006 with my Doctorate of Management Organizational Leadership. And you would think after spending 3.5 years of my time, multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars and education and theory, that we would come out with a blueprint to success. And in hindsight, that is far from what was shared. Now, don't get me wrong, earning a PhD in any area is definitely going to give you a different set of lens in how you view the world. You're no longer looking at it from the bottom. You're always going to start from the top, and you're always going to ensure that you're looking at it through the lens of leadership. But even having a PhD and looking at life through a new set of lens, it doesn't mean that it becomes easier. It just allows you to have a navigation or a blueprint, or at least a framework from which to start. In this session today, through this webinar and this wonderful platform, I want to share with you the 5-step formula to improve your business growth through personal development. I want you to listen closely, I want you to take notes, and I want you to envision yourself in each of these steps, because we are going to go deep. The first part that I want to identify in step 1 is that when you're thinking about business and thinking about growing your business, scaling your business, or even building community relationships, how do you define your purpose? In the 20-something years that I have been working with entrepreneurs, consultants, career professionals, the one thing that has people stalemate is that their business purpose is not defined. To me, defining your business purpose simply means what wakes you up in the morning. Oftentimes you get into a challenge or you get into relationships where you have a good girlfriend or boyfriend that's always your number one cheerleader, but sometimes that cheer dwindles and then you're standing alone and you're trying to figure out which way to go. Well, in business, it's no different. So in order to step 1 is to define your purpose. To me, defining a purpose is what wakes you up in the morning. When the people are gone and your cheerleaders are no longer there, what keeps you motivated? How do you define that purpose? In 1946, S. Truett Cathy opened up the first Chick-fil-A. What you may not know is that Chick-fil-A is older than McDonald's, Wendy's, and even Chipotle. When she let people know what her business model was, a lot of people laughed at her. How dare you open up a fast food chain and not have them open on Sunday? But what S. Truett Cathy knew is that who she wanted to serve, how she was going to do it, and she did not allow anyone to sway her decision. 75 years later, you can find a Chick-fil-A in almost every town, especially in the South. So my question to you is, how do you define your purpose? I want you to take out a piece of paper, a pen, a pencil, a marker, open up your laptop, open up a new Word document. If you have your smartphone, I want you to open up the notes section, or even use Siri. If you have an Android, open up that app. And I want you to simply write down in 2 sentences or less, how do you define your purpose? What is it about what you want to do in your business that's going to allow you to either scale it, launch that grassroots initiative, or build community relationships as a result of it? S. Truett Cathy knew exactly what she wanted to do for the urban community. She wanted to have 6 days for her fast food restaurant to open, and on the 7th day, it to be closed. Why? Because in the urban community, the 7th day is a rest day. How do you define your purpose? I want you to hold on to that. As we move into step 2. Step 2, how do you identify your targeted audience? Individually, each one of these steps are powerful, but collectively, it's going to help you move towards that $1 million platform, either as a career professional or a married couple doing business together. So how do you identify your target audience? I identify a targeted audience as a unique niche. A unique niche that if I was lined up with 5 other career professionals, they may be in the same industry that I am in, but they're not going to do things the same way that I do. So what I love to use for this step is an analogy of the goal of a fish store. So you walk into a fish store and more than likely, Everyone wants to go towards that very unique niche where it's only fish, where it's only one of them. It could be 15 people lined up for that one fish. In this case, let's say it's a piranha, right? So everyone goes in, it's beautiful, it's lovely, it's sparkling, it would look great in a fish tank dead set in your living room. But guess what? It's only one of that piranha. The fish sells and 14 other people no longer have what they're looking for. But if you look across the aisle in that same fish store, there's a fish tank full of goldfish. You know, the great thing about a goldfish is that if I knew the purpose of what the goldfish would do, me and not just 15, but maybe 50 other of those career professionals or couples within my circle could ensure that what they wanted to do in their business could be achieved. You want to know why? Because they're simply looking for fish. So are you going to go after that piranha, or are you going to go after the fact that you want to fish? In life, when you narrow down your niche as to what you want, after you define your purpose, that $1 million mindset is no longer a dream, but surely a reality. I want you to open up a new piece of paper right now. Keep in mind, step one, defining your purpose. And now I want you to simply write down, how do you identify your targeted audience? And of that targeted audience, what makes that audience so unique to you? Because remember, even if you're lined up with 5 to 10 people that may have the very same idea as you, no one is going to execute it the way you do, because that's your baby, because you know why, and now you know who. So how do you define your purpose? Are you going to go after the piranha, which is a unique, or are you going to just go after the goldfish that at the end of the day, everyone is going to be able to get what they're looking for as long as you know what it is and why you're doing it? Exciting, right? Absolutely. Now, we defined the who, which is defining your purpose. The what, we've identified your target audience. And then as you're thinking into step 3, I want you to be able to think about value proposition. Now, why is value proposition so important? Because as a career professional or a married couple that's doing business together, as a couple, not only defining your purpose makes you to understand what gets you up in the morning, even when your bank account is not the way you want it to be, or when you're going against a whole lot of troubles or no's, but it's helping you to understand that whatever you started is what you need to continue with, because that is what is it, because you're in it for you. When you're identifying your target audience, it helps you to narrow down that if you're walking into a chamber of commerce with all of these individuals, all of those people are great, but you know exactly who you're looking for and exactly who you want to work with. But when we get to the step of value proposition, how do you define value proposition? I define it as creating buy-in. And regardless of you as a career professional and you're working a 9-to-5, or you're an entrepreneur, or you're a couple that's getting into a business together, the value proposition for your client is not in it what's in it for you, but it's what's in it for them. And this is where most career professionals, organizations, corporations, and even couples that are in business together go wrong. When we're developing products and services, it's all about what we feel the client needs, what we think the customer wants. But in hindsight, it's the complete opposite. Walmart is $1 million and rural money is not because they don't have product. It's not because what they offer people don't want. But what people don't realize or didn't realize and may not still realize is that what Walmart failed to do in the urban community is to share the value proposition as it relates to the urban market. So as a career professional, when you're thinking about your product and service, or as a couple, when you're going into a business together, how does your product and service serve the targeted audience, step 2, that you're going after? When Walmart decided to penetrate, or at least think about going into the urban market, grassroots community organizations pushed back. They pushed back because not of what Walmart was, but what Walmart stood for. Walmart is an organization that treats that pays their employees low wages. They overwork them, and they're not really getting the benefits for the amount of capital that Walmart is bringing through the door. And in the South, community grassroots organizations were not having it. Until this day, Walmart has yet to be able to penetrate a Walmart regular center, super center, or regular store in an urban market. And it's not about the fact that Walmart didn't have money, because they do. But what they have not been able to do with their lack of positive reputation in the urban market has been able to pivot that value proposition to meet the needs of that urban market. Now, remember back in step 1, when I talked about defining your purpose, as Truett Cathy, the founder of Chick-fil-A, knew right off the bat, not just what she wanted, but the value she was trying to bring to the business. As a career professional, how do you position your product and services so that it benefits others and not just you? Something to think about, right? But it's okay, because that's why you're here. You want to take where you are to the next level. Either you want to scale your business, you want to launch a grassroots initiative with your significant other, or you want to get to the point of being able to build community relationships so that you can take your product and service, who you want to serve, and why you're doing it off the ground. Sounds about right? Absolutely, and I'm glad you're here. So I want you to take out another piece of paper, and I simply want you to think about this for a second. I want you to answer the question, what population of individuals do you serve? And of the population that you want to serve, what value are you bringing to the table through your products and services? And it's not a trick question, and it may take you a few minutes to think about it. If you're able to answer that question right off the bat, great job. That means that you're already on your way to scale your business and achieve that $1 million brand that you're looking for. On the flip end, if you're still pondering over the answers to those questions, it's okay. Because guess what? We all had to start somewhere. The great thing about being in a relationship is that you can bounce your ideas on and off with your significant others or your team to ensure that how you're answering a question makes sense from a business standpoint. So if you're not able to necessarily answer those questions just yet, guess what? It's okay, because when you're able to get it, you're going to be able to either launch that grassroots initiative that you always thought about, or be able to add on to the thoughts that you may have had prior to listening to this webinar. And then when you're able to do so, you're going to be in a better position to now go out and build communities and relationships. And the reason why building relationships is so important, not just from $1 million mindset or growth standpoint, is that there's truly no I in team. So in order for you to elevate, whether it's scaling your business or launching your grassroots initiatives, you need to bring in a community of like-minded individuals that's going to help you take it to the next level, which is why I'm glad that you're here. So let's review real quick. Step 1 is define your purpose. How do you define your purpose, and what makes it different from anything else that you've ever done? Chick-fil-A is a name brand, 75 years in, and it's not going anywhere. So Cathy Truett knew exactly what she was doing and where she was going when she only wanted that restaurant open 6 days a week with the 7th day off. Identifying your target audience. What makes your audience different from everyone else besides you, right? And then now that you have the first two steps, what is your value proposition that you're offering your client, or offering through a program, or offering through a service that you may not have thought about prior to now? You are on a roll. I want to do something for you really quick because I know that we don't have a whole bunch of time, but I want you to be able, this might appear very overwhelming right now, but I want you to be able to not just dissect what we're talking about, but really have a tangible plan and blueprint once this is over with. So I want you to text 443-267-8783. I have a blueprint, a deep dive blueprint that I want to share with you just free, but it's going to outline everything that we're talking about and allow you to take it to a deeper level. Sounds good? 443-267-8783, deep dive blueprint, and I'll make sure that we get it over to you shortly after we receive it. All right. We're going into step 4 now, and I can't go in but so deep, but I want you to at least get a basic understanding of exactly why these 5 steps work. And the 5 steps work, again, whether you are a solopreneur, you are an entrepreneur, you're a career professional, you're trying to build a team, you're a married couple or an engaged couple that's trying to do business together. These are just basic 5 steps to navigate from where you are to where you want to go. And when you're able to not just answer the questions, but go deep, then you know that you're working on overcoming those barriers that happen to a lot of organizations that may not make it past the first 2 years or 3 years or have to close their doors. Step number 4 is marketing plan. Well, what is a marketing plan? A marketing plan to me is a solid plan that's part of your business plan that encompasses step 1, step 2, step 3, and all of the other components you need, not just to grow your business or launch your business or build communities, but really take it to the next level so that that plan is laid out for you simply to follow it from beginning to end. I want to share in this short amount of time that we have, and when we typically think in terms of organizations with money or prestige or employees, that we think that everything is gravy, right? Everything is great, that there are no loopholes, there are no backlashes, none of those things. But what I do want to share with you is that that's not necessarily true. There are about 10 organizations that have had failed businesses that have been around for a really long time. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of time to share all 10, but I did want to share at least 5 with you in 5 different industries. Polaroid started in 1937, and Polaroid closed their doors after 80 years in 2001. Polaroid was in a camera business. Blockbuster started in 1985 and closed their doors in 2010. Blockbuster is in the movie TV industry. Pan Am, you probably don't remember that, but Pan Am is an airliner, older than Southwest, older than Delta, older than Spirit. They started in 1927 and in 1991 closed their doors. That's a really long time, right? Borders, how many book lovers out there? Authors, I know I'm one, love it. Borders opened their door in 1971 and closed their doors in 2011. Long time. And last but not least, and this is an all-time favorite, especially if you're a parent or a godparent or any of those scenarios where you're overseeing young ones, Toys R Us. Who doesn't know Toys R Us or hasn't shopped at Toys R Us, right? Toys R Us started in 1948. And in 2017, closed their doors. Toys R Us is a family-friendly organization. What was it about Pan Am, Borders, Polaroid, Blockbuster, and Toys R Us that had them to close their doors. And these were multi-million-dollar corporations. I don't want you to guess. Let me just share with you. What stopped them from being from continuing on was the fact that they weren't able to pivot their market plan. And their marketing plan, unfortunately, fell flat, just like their business. So I want you to take a piece of paper out and I want you to write down these two questions. What is the importance of a marketing plan and how does it add value to your business? I want you to think about these two things because without a marketing plan and knowing the value it adds to your business, you could end up like one of these 5 corporations, and that's not what we want to achieve. We want you to scale your business, grow your business, build community relationships so that you can have $1 million product that we know that you desire and you can achieve. And last but not least, step 5 is building your support team. Step 1 is important. Step 2 is important. Step 3 and 4, but step 5. When you think about building your support team, I want you to simply think about the letters DEIA, diversity, equity, inclusion, and access. Why is DEIA important? Because everything about the current trend right now is about diversity, equity, inclusion, and access, which means that your support team should be reflective of who you serve. For example, if you are a nonprofit, career professional, your board should be reflective of the audience, the target audience that you want to serve. If the entire board looked like you, there's a problem. If the entire board is of one gender or one ethnicity, there's a problem. You want to make sure that you have a support team that's not just reflective of who you want to serve, but can very well close the gap in areas that you need help in. The one thing that I recommend to you is that every 6 months, you should engage in a SWOT analysis, strength, weaknesses, opportunity, and threats, or a needs assessment for your organization to ensure as a career professional or as a power couple that you are filling in those gaps and be reminded of the strength and opportunities to close that gap. In your piece of paper that you've taken out, I want you to list 5 members of your support team. Any 5, just write them down. And if you can answer the question with all 5, I want you to think of the DEIA. Is there diversity? Is there equity? Is there inclusion? And is there access to the 5 people that is part of your support team? And if you're able to do that, you're going to scale your business and take off. And if you can only answer 1 or 2, guess what? Everyone had to start somewhere. But when you're able to do that, you can then begin to build relationships to hit that $1 million mindset and progress in your company and in your relationship that you're looking for. In closing, I want you to think of 3 things outside of those 5 steps. Define your purpose, identify your target audience, what is the value proposition, having a marketing plan, and building your support team. Nothing changes if you don't change your mindset. So put in your mind that you have $1 million business, that you have $1 million product, and that you're $1 million individual. And then from that mindset, you should have an automatic change in behavior. We just went through a 5-step process. And even if you can only answer part of the questions, you are starting with a blueprint that's going to take you to the next level and that you can see results right away, because that's what we're here for, results. And last but not least, take action. Don't allow this information through this powerful summit to sit stalemate. You're here for a reason. The question is, what are you going to do differently tomorrow? And in closing, I want to leave you with a few thoughts. This could appear extremely overwhelming, which is why the free gift that I have for you is a blueprint so that all you have to do is to fill in a blank. So text 443-267-8783 and put deep dive blueprint, and we'll get that framework right over to you so that you can begin to work on your 5-step process to make sure that you're hitting the goals that you want to. Or you may decide that I don't want to wait until tomorrow. I want to do it today. And that same text, or in a new text, just put makeover, 443-267-8783. In life, nothing will be given to you, but everything is available for you. So whether you're a career professional or a power couple that's willing to take that next step, just understand that your dreams can be your reality. And with this 5-step program, with a change in your mindset, a change in your behavior, and putting forth action, you will improve your personal growth through personal development, which starts with you. My name is Dr. Takima Dorsey, Senior Consultant at DTD's Urban Multi-Sport Consulting Firm. And what do I do best? I go deep. It's been a pleasure. Have a great day, and make sure that you are not just living the $1 million dream, but you are acting on it right away. Thank you.